What do you think about riding the metro in Peru? Is it the best ever? Why? Check out that. So we've just bought this queen size mattress and we're just slinging it on a normal taxi. Crosswalks, zebra crossings, they don't mean anything in Peru. Look at it. He's done this a few times before. That's amazing. In this video, we're going to be looking at various transportation options in Lima, and maybe the same applies for other areas of Peru as well. We'll be looking at taxis, shared taxis, Ubers, the metro, buses, bicycles, and even driving as well, and even walking around Lima. So I hope that you find the information in this video useful. Check it out. So the metro is one way of getting around. They have these dedicated bus lanes that cars aren't even allowed in, especially on the freeways. So you can actually get to places quite fast. However, these things are so busy, especially during rush hour. You're pretty much like a sardine. I don't recommend it at all. But they kind of look like a bendy bus, look. You see that? We're just about to buy a card on the metro. How fun is that? Okay, so we're buying the card. The card is $4.50, but you get 50 cents for buying the card. And then you load the card up. It has to be exact money. Either coins or banknotes. No debits, no credit. And then we have our metro card. Check it out. The metro, the most fun place you'll ever see. Here's the metro experience. Look, it's a bendy bus, but we get our own dedicated bus lane, and everyone goes on like crazy. This is what the metro is usually like. Look, you can see how busy it is, and everyone's just kind of cramming on like sardines. What do you think about riding the metro in Peru? Is it the best ever? Why? Aren't you so comfortable?
Welcome to Latin America.
Getting the bus. Look, check this out. Let me show you a Peruvian bus. Check it out, look. The legroom's pretty small. Check out the Peruvian bus experience. There's even a turnstile there. Usually it's not this empty, trust me. But there's no AC, you have to open the windows. They have rebar as a handle. That's good, isn't it?
Oh, valo. Oh, vale a
That's my one Sol bus ticket.
Oh, vale a 3.
Wow. Toyota. So when I said avoid buses during rush hour, it is madness. The buses, literally everyone's in there like sardines. Look at this one. Look. And they're going to be standing up 20, 30, 40 minutes. Yeah, look how busy the buses get. It's only 3 p.m. Mad. It's 4 p.m. and yeah, the bus is crazy right now. Are you enjoying the bus? Look at that, imagine being on that bus, huh? But that's like all of them at this time, you know. And here's another way to travel, look, the subway. And people call this the metro too, but it's really different from the metro, even though it has the same name. But $1.50, super cheap. And you can go anywhere on this line, and there's where you can go, look. Pretty good. Check it out, look, we're on the freeway. Well, we just came off the freeway, see? And people sell things to your window. It's good, isn't it? And it's not too expensive either. So we've just bought this queen-size mattress, and we're just slinging it on a normal taxi. Where will you ever see that service anywhere else? Look at that. And we've only been waiting 2 minutes, and he already has the ropes in his car. You would never see that anywhere else. Check it out. And even the driver, look, the driver's putting it on. Look at it. He's done this a few times before. That's amazing service. Peruvian taxis, approved. When taking any kind of taxi, Uber, make sure your windows are wound all the way up or just partially open. Otherwise, in stopped traffic, people can steal your phone. I've seen it happen, so don't fall a victim of this, and be careful. Hey, we're going to Caracas. In a little tuk-tuk. In a little tuk-tuk. Here's our little tuk-tuk. Look at that. This is how we're going to do our 13 kilometers. Check it out. It's got 3 wheels. It's like a plastic pig, look. There's the trunk. There's a little window. Here's the cabin. That's a little bit of legroom, isn't it? Look at the door handle, look. It's a little broke.
Ahí mismo usted puede cotizar, le dice, quiere irme primero a la fila belleza y ahí me quiere.
So here we have group taxis, and what they do, they usually go to a remote place or maybe a nearby city, and when the taxi is full and they have enough people, they pretty much go. But if you're the first one on there, you could be waiting an hour maybe until they sell enough tickets for everyone to go. And then all the luggage, look, is on the roof. It's pretty cool, isn't it? So all our new friends look in our shared taxi. So we're here in Miraflores, and you can see they have these city bikes, look. They have scooters as well. There's some scooters, we'll check those out. So pretty much like any city, you can put your things in here, scan this QR code, download the app, and you pretty much pay by the minute for it. Again, you'll find these in Lima Central, Miraflores, places like that. They're not exactly that cheap, but they have scooters as well. The app's a bit annoying if you're a foreigner. It asks for your passport information, and sometimes it doesn't validate the card very well. But yeah, there are options to get scooters and bikes. But if you go pretty much anywhere outside of the tourist area, you're not going to be able to dock it again because they don't have them. But cycle lanes, you can go all the way down here to the seafront, look, nice little cycle lane, and all the way up to Lima Central and a few key avenues. So that's pretty much the route you can take where you're somewhat safe from the crazy drivers. So I found a map here of all the bicycle lanes, you can see here. So here's sort of like the main Miraflores area. You can see all these dotted lines here going all the way up to pretty much Lima Central. Some nice bike paths around here and all along the seafront as well. So there you go, you can actually go a long way, all the way to Churrios on your bicycle. It's not bad, is it? So one thing that's really common here in Lima is the shared taxis. Now these aren't licensed drivers. These are just random people that want to, you know, maybe go to Miraflores from Lima Central or vice versa. And what they want to do is fill their car up with random people. And the whole journey along this Arequipa Avenue is around 4 miles. They'll charge 1 sol per mile, but while they drive, they will beep their horn all the time, the whole way. If their car is not full. As soon as it's full, they drive. But you'll be sharing the car with random people. It can be a little dangerous because you don't know who the random person is. But it is a very cheap way to get to Lima Central, for example, and back to Miraflores. But it does happen a lot on these roads. And that's why they're all beeping their horns behind me, because they want their cars to fill up and they want to take you to Lima Central, for example. So that whole family there wants to ride in this car. They won't fit, but they're gonna, you know, they're gonna squeeze in. We're in our taxi now. We're just arriving at the beach, and it's time to go. Ica. Look at the buses in Peru. Everyone's like fighting to get under. It's like a war zone. We're on the bus. And check it out. There's a TV. A little TV. And there's our ticket. If you get a ticket, you get VIP treatment. The guy pushes you on the bus first. And he holds everyone back so you can push in front first. Pretty good, isn't it? Peru bus, and it's 28 soles, which is $7.
No, 28.
That's what I said. 28, $7. Okay, we're going back to Lima. A fun-packed 3.5, 4 hours. But again, we have TV again. We've got Harley Quinn, and look at these seats. Look how far they go back. You're pretty much lying down. That's crazy. So when you're on buses in Peru, people literally come off the street with things, sell them to you, and then they'll just get off the bus. It's crazy, isn't it? Look, she's got drinks, snacks. She usually hangs them up here. You choose what you want and be on your way. How amazing is that? It's amazing. If you're a tourist and it's your first time visiting Lima, what you'll find yourself doing is arriving at the airport, and as soon as you leave the airport, you will be swamped by taxi drivers. You'll feel like a celebrity. And what a lot of people do, they'll join Facebook groups and say, oh, how do I get to Miraflores from Lima Airport, for example? Now, the best way is Uber, Cabify, DiDi, inDrive, these phone apps. They use licensed drivers, and even then, if you're not sure, check the reviews. But what a lot of people like to do is toot their own business, like this one here, Gringo Taxis. It is insanely expensive. You know, it's more 5-6 times the rate of Uber, for example. And you'll find this with tours as well when going Cusco, for example. So avoid all these, they're just not worth it. And take a phone app like Uber, for example. It's perfectly safe, and you probably already have an account anyway. And if you don't believe me, apps like Uber and DiDi, usually around 20 to 25 soles, a one-way trip from Miraflores to the airport. It's around $5 or $6, something like that. And somewhere like Gringo Taxis here, their cheapest vehicle is $27. So you're looking at more than 4 times more expensive. And you do not need this at all. It's just aimed at tourists with money who have no idea. So Uber, fantastic app. I highly recommend you use it, and it's perfectly safe. So, driving in Peru, driving in Lima. What is it like? Well, to be honest, no one really has anything good to say about the driving. But you should see for yourself. Let's check it out. So driving, what is driving like in Lima? Well, that is a mystery, and I'm going to show you everything about driving. Oh, driving's diabolical. It's diabolical. I'm going to show you why. It's madness. Let's go. Okay, so I've driven all over Europe, all over America, some parts of Asia, but driving in Latin America, especially in Peru, is another beast entirely. It's actually voted the second worst place to drive in the entire world. voted by a car insurance company, but perhaps that's just one person's opinion. So every video I took in this section of the video, I recorded in one day, on and off. I literally stood in random places for 10 to 20 seconds, and something surprising would always happen. Surprising to me. So it's not a compilation of all the bad bits I've compiled over weeks and months. It was literally recorded first time 3 days ago on a random day. So what is the driving like? Have you ever played Paperboy on the Commodore or the Nintendo? Or perhaps for older members of my audience, maybe Grand Theft Auto or something like that. Now there are quite a lot of similarities. So I'm going to start with crosswalks or zebra crossings. Check this out. Crosswalks, zebra crossings, they don't mean anything in Peru. Watch this, look. So if you cross a zebra crossing or a crosswalk in Europe or America, you kind of don't really think. You just start walking in the road and assume everyone will stop. That is not the case here. You have to be careful. There's no point in even having these crosswalks. They're completely ignored. Just if you see a crosswalk, treat it like it's not there. Pro tip. The next thing is badly maintained cars. There's not really a government body, or if there is, there's nothing to enforce car safety. But this doesn't apply to cars, it applies to taxis, business trucks like HGVs, but also public buses. These are the buses that you ride. So for example, I see body parts literally duct taped on with duct tape. Rusty subframes. The subframe is the thing that kind of holds the entire car together. Balding tires or completely bald tires, even on motorcycles, which is crazy. Loose and worn suspension, brake pads literally running on the steel, etc. But if you're in a queue of traffic and someone needs to slam on their brakes and they have, balding tires and literally no brake pads, there's going to be an accident. It just happens. That is why in some countries we have to make sure our car is safe before it gets on the road. Otherwise, not only your own life is in danger, but people around you as well. So what I see a lot of is really badly maintained cars. Another thing I see all the time is called the intersection honk or beep. So when cars arrive at an intersection, especially taxis and Ubers, they arrive at the intersection, they barely slow down, they just hold in the horn of their car and keep driving. They barely slow down. And I've seen so many accidents happen because some people might be listening to music, they don't hear their honk, and they hit each other. It happens all the time. But it's not only dangerous to drivers, but also pedestrians and things like that. Careful, sausage. Don't get run over. The other thing is the green man on the crosswalks. Do not assume that when you see a green man you can cross the road. Always check. People drive through green men all the time, especially at rush hour and especially at night. And the same applies for red lights as well. I see cars running red lights all the time. It's usually the tail end, when it goes from green to red, they kind of run the red part of it. But all the lights here, if one section goes red, the other one instantly goes green. There's no courtesy 3 to 5 seconds, while everyone sorts themselves out. If one street goes red, the other one's instantly green. So if you run a red light, you're in real danger of hitting the other people which are now leaving the other light on the other side of the street, for example. But at night time, I see this all the time. If a light has been red for maybe 20 seconds, I see cars come up to them and they just roll right on through. They don't even wait. But not just cars, taxis as well. People with businesses where their business evolves around driving people around. So it's really bad and you have to be really careful. So here's a few examples of things I see pretty much every time I leave the house. I see motorcycles driving in bicycle lanes, motorcycles driving on the sidewalk, all kinds of vehicles going the wrong way on a one-way street, cars running red lights, people driving with no lights at all at night time, completely off, or literally there's no actual lights working on their vehicle. Aggressive driving, driving bumper to bumper on the freeway, that's actually quite common. Changing lanes sharply, especially without indication. It's actually rare to see somebody use their indicators or blinkers. Slamming on the brakes, and if there's a gap in the traffic, for whatever reason, everybody fights to fill it, maybe saving 0.3 seconds off their journey. But the list is endless, so what I'm trying to say is, as a tourist, you have to be really careful when driving and also when just walking around. So a lot of this is normal here for the locals. You know, if you're born in Peru or maybe a neighboring country where they have similar sort of driving practices, it's normal. But if you're a tourist and you expect a pedestrian green light to mean you're safe and you just walk without thinking, then you can get really injured or perhaps die. So it is something you need to take quite seriously. So if you take anything away from this video, let it be the fact that you should always check your surroundings before walking into any road. So on a more serious note, we like to joke around all the time, but on a serious note, I've been here for 5 months now, and I've seen dead people in the roads, killed, dead, finished. It's completely sad. And if you've been following my channel and you saw the video where my phone was stolen from the guy who worked at the bar, and we got it back through various tracking methods, I'll link it in the description below so you can check that out if you want to. Our friend who was in the video, he was in his early 20s and he died. He died only a week after making that video. He died in a traffic accident on the motorway, on the freeway. And it's probably the last video or picture ever taken of him. So like I say, we like to joke around in other videos and poke fun and have a laugh. But everything I mention about the driving here is real. It's real. It's not exaggerated. And again, it's not to be taken lightly either. The last thing I'm going to mention is if you're a tourist and you're considering renting a car, then I have the following advice for you. Purchase all the insurance you can. Make sure you're fully covered in any case of any accident. More than 40 to 50% of the cars here have dents in them. I'm not making that up. Just examine half the cars you see. You'll see some sort of dent in some way, shape or form. If you're staying local to Lima or local to pretty much any town, you don't need a car. Don't worry about driving, you just don't need one. The public transport here, as you've seen in this video, it is good, it exists, and you can get around. Don't fall for the car upgrade scam when you rent a car. Where you book a car online, for example, you get to the place in person and it's not available. And they'll kind of force you into an upgrade but make you pay the difference. I've seen that quite a lot here. Buses, they pretty much go everywhere, even long distances, so always consider buses before deciding whether to rent a car. And on buses you can sleep as well, so you don't really miss out, some of your day, especially if you're here for a short amount of time. Buses go everywhere. And I would only consider renting a car if I was planning a road trip and I wasn't just staying in a city. So one of those road trips where the fun is about the journey, all the fun is about the journey and not necessarily the destination, then 100% I would rent a car. So I hope this section helped you when considering driving in Lima or the surrounding area. Whether you're a pedestrian, you don't care about driving, but you want to, stay alive and stay safe. And for those of you who are just generally curious.
There's a gas station, look. They fill up the gas for you. And it's usually not petroleum gas, it's gas. And here's some of the prices in soles. So, I hope you learned something.
So now I've told you all this cool and useful information. How do I travel around Lima? What's the best option? Well, what's your budget like? Do you have a lot of money? If so, just Uber everywhere. It's a lot easier, the drivers are approved, and you're gonna have an easy and smooth time. Are you on a budget? Are you backpacking? Or you just want to save your money for something else? Perfectly reasonable. Take the bus or metro. You know, maybe just avoid rush hours and things like that. It gets really busy. But if you like people and crowds, then maybe that's your thing. But I hope some of the things in this video helped you decide what to do on your trip to Lima and maybe other cities in Peru as well. Thank you for watching.